Hello everyone, this video is in response to Gamble's video on shield gating. He says that there needs to be other methods in the game that make it so you can go the distance in endurance missions to level cap because some people don't have the physical ability to shield gate. I do agree that health tanking should be better and that should be buffed, but I don't agree with the fact that he thinks that there are some people that physically cannot shield gate, and I will show you why. I'm not saying that there are zero people, but I would think that the majority of people that even if they think they can't, they can with some practice, and I'll show you why here. So my background is actually being a competitive Melee player. I didn't win, I came close to winning some locals, but in the Melee scene, it's very common to see charts or GIFs or stuff like this, where you see characters' animations. Right here, the Captain Falcon has a opportunity to either roll left, roll right, or tech in place. And as the player that's facing him, you can decipher which way he's going to go by looking at the animations in his legs at the different points of the animation that it's going through. So you can see this. And this is very hard to react to, and that's why people are looking at very early animations in the legs, so they have as much time to react as possible. So the reason I'm telling you this is because the idea behind reacting in video games is there has to be some kind of stimulus you're reacting to, and then a certain amount of time in between that you're able to actually react as a human being, because it takes about 15 frames for the average human to react, which is 250 milliseconds about. But that's just the idea behind reacting. So we're going to apply that to Warframe, and I'm going to show you how you can tell if you can react to shield gating or not. So to see if you can shield gate, just go to reaction test on Google or something. It's this website right here, humanbenchmark.com/test/reaction time. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click on this blue box, and it's going to start a test. And you got to wait for the green, and then click. And it's going to measure the amount of time it takes you to do that. So here I finished my test. You got to do it 5 times and it takes your average. And then you can save your score, and you can see my other scores down here from just doing it different times with different levels of focus. And you can see, oh, there was a graph. I'm going to go back to that. So the graph here is showing the average of the people that took this test. You can see that this is about half a second here. There's very, very few people who are actually having this reaction time. And this is skewed because the only people that are coming to this website are gamers that are like, I want to see how fast I am. But yeah, generally people are not having a reaction time this slow. And this is way, way shorter than the amount of time you actually have to react to a shield gate. And I'll show you that here with this clip I have. I'm invincible right now. The very next frame I lose my invincibility. And then I'm going through the shield gate invincibility. And then I die. That's the clip. And I'm going to show you here how you can react to losing your shield and then get it back using Brief Respite or Augur mods. So right here, like I said, I lose my shield, and I can't tell yet if I'm playing the game because I'm not looking at my shield and health when I'm playing the game. I'm looking at the map, I'm looking at my character, I'm looking at my abilities to see how much time they have. I'm not looking at my character, I'm looking ahead of my character at enemies. But right here, you can see when you lose your shield, you have this like aqua-y stuff on your screen. That's what you can react to. And I think I don't react to that consciously. I think I mostly react to the sound of your shield breaking. It's like beep-oo, beep-oo, and I'll play it a few times here. So that's what it sounds like when your shield breaks. And you can see that the audio of the shield breaking is actually earlier than the visuals of it, and that's better because they say as people in the Melee community say that you can react to auditory things better than visual things. And so the amount of time you have to react to your shield breaking to when you actually start getting hit is right here, this segment right here, and then I start losing health and die right here. So how long is this segment to where you see that you lost your shield and here to when you actually start getting hurt? The amount of time is an entire second, which is 1,000 and, well, you get a few extra frames here, so I already calculated it. You had 66 frames times 16.6 milliseconds, because I had the videos in 60 frames per second. But basically, you have 1,095.6 milliseconds to react. So on that test, if you're getting something faster than 700 milliseconds for your reaction time, then I would highly much believe that you can shield gate after some practice, and you probably should just practice using it some more. And just being aware of the different stimuli that show that your shield broke, which are the sound and the little aqua wave. So the only other part of reacting and getting a shield up with a Brief Respite or Augur mods is the travel time to your keys. Because once you press a key, you get the shield back right away, frame 1. You have your another full shield, and you will get another instance of shield gating. So this is kind of hard to tell a person to change their controls, because usually people are very set in with what they're doing, and it's very hard and a long process to change your muscle memory, and it sucks and it feels bad. So if you don't want to do this, do not. Or if you're someone that's just starting out on Warframe, maybe change up your controls and put your abilities closer to your movement keys. So obviously W, A, S, D are your movement if you're using the default controls. So I would suggest putting your abilities on Tab, Q, E, and R. Mine are shifted slightly to the right where it's Q, E, R, and T just because that's where I put it. And I'm not changing them again because they're like decent enough. I got long fingers to go from D to T. It's not that big of a deal. But I would feel more comfortable if I could go back in time to switch them to Tab, Q, E, and R. So they're very close. You don't have to move very far and or risk missing a button. They're just right here. You can easily press them and get your next shield instance. And for the people that have problems with the actions per minute of Warframe, then I have more tips for you also. So let me get into that. So the idea behind shield gating is that you just don't want to get one shot. So you don't need to abuse shield gating to its fullest extent by remaining invincible forever when playing Warframe. You just need to make sure that you don't get one shot. So limiting the amount of times that your shield breaks with different helmet abilities or different Warframes is a great way to lower your actions per minute. My favorite with this is Zephyr. If you want to shield gate with Zephyr, you definitely can, be it with his 2 or the 4, which is what I shield gate with my Zephyr. But for the most part, I don't even shield gate with Zephyr. I just rolling guard instead. So essentially the only time you're going to have to shield gate with Zephyr is when there's a melee enemy. None of these projectiles are going to hit me ever, so I'll never have to shield gate the projectiles. So the amount of actions per minute is going to go way down compared to other frames that can't do this. Another way, besides protecting yourself to make it so you don't have to shield gate as often, is by CCing enemies. Resonator is a great ability since it goes around and charms enemies, and this is actually a helmet ability. So if you put Octavian the Helmet, you can put this on other frames. I have a great Zaku build that I use for defense sometimes or interceptions that has Resonator on it for this same reason. And then also Zaku can use this, what is this called? Accuse, and make enemies your friends. And then they get distracted and shoot at each other, and they are not looking at you and shooting you. But these builds are not perfect, especially because of Eximus, so that is why I have shield gating on this build. It's so when there's Eximus that are a problem, I can rolling guard, take care of them, and then get my shield back before my rolling guard is over. Some CC abilities that are in the helmet that you can put on frames to reduce the amount of shield gating you have to do is Breach Surge. This does not go through walls, but it does affect Eximus. It will blind Eximus. Gloom's been used on every build ever, just to CC enemies and make sure that they're not moving fast and not shooting you very much. Shooting Gallery is a classic for jamming enemy guns, so they're not shooting you also. And then, as I said, Resonator is probably the very best for this, making it so enemies are just completely charmed by the ball and not looking at you at all. And probably the very, very best ability for this entire discussion is probably Terrify. It has a high energy cost, so it's really easy to shield gate with. With a couple casting speed shards, it is a very quick animation. And then also, this is CCing enemies in a very large area. So when you get shot, when you cast this off, the only people that are going to be left shooting at you are Eximus again. And all the other guys are going to be running around scared. I would say living off of shield gating is extremely hard. So I would put rolling guard onto builds. This mod right here, getting that leveled up all the way will help too, but if you just leave it at like rank 8, that's fine also. And then if you're struggling to actually strip the overguard off of Eximus, then you can use Protective Sling to make it so you're basically invincible forever until all the problems in your area are dealt with. And a lot of this stuff will come with experience. A lot of this is a feeling. Like, I know when I have, how much time I have when I have to shield gate. You can kind of tell from the ripples. When the ripples go away, you basically only have like a third of a second left to actually shield gate, more or less. But with like rolling guard, you don't have a timer for your invincibility, so you just kind of have to feel out how long the 3 seconds is. Like there, I mistimed it with Vazarin Dash. Vazarin Dash does have a timer up on the top right. You can see it's at 3, 2, 1 now. So I hope this helped explain some of the ideas behind the shield gating playstyle. So if you're not familiar with it, this gives you some ideas to start working with and some confidence to build upon, because I fully believe that you can do it. And especially if you got that time test down and are good with that, I 100% believe that you can get this with practice. That's just not one of the easy things in Warframe, so it's going to take you a while. You're going to fail, you're going to go down. Hopefully just play in public lobbies, play with friends if you don't want to lose. I have gone on endurance runs for hours, and I'm trying to level cap, and I don't care about the rewards. I just die. And I know not many people want to play that way, and they actually want the rewards from their missions, and they're not going for like an achievement of level capping. But that's just the level of practice that you might need as a person. So thanks for watching. Comment if you have any questions, and subscribe if you want to see all my Deviri tutorial content. See ya.